All right, here we go. One of my favorite decks from 2025 was Red Black Sabo, and I'm just not ready to let it go yet. So today, gonna get some gameplay in. Here's the deck list right here. We are using the new EBO3 Koala in this deck, so very excited to see how it performs. All right, here we go. We got a matchup against the new Boa Hancock from OP14. Let's go second in this matchup. Ooh, tough opening hand. I love having the 6-cost Sabo and Monkey D. Dragon, but is this going to be too slow of a start? We're going to run with this hand, even though we don't have any opening turn plays, and we're going to hope that we can get a good draw. We're going to pass our opening turn to our Boa Hancock player. Boa Hancock, OP14, one of the best performing decks right now in the East. Excited to see how we can do with Red Black Sabo going in. They're going to start with the 5k swing at us. We'll go ahead and take this first swing, no problem. And we are now up to 3 Sabos in hand and no cards we can play. So not a great start at all. All we can do is attach all of our Dawn and swing in for 8. Our opponent will take that first life. We'll see. Luckily, we avoid any triggers. We're going to pass the turn to our opponent. But next turn, I mean, we'll start cooking from here on out. 6 Dawn turn, and we are just going to start slamming down our 6-cost blocker Sabos and Monkey D. Dragons once we start filling up our trash. So they get a 4-cost blocker Boa Hancock onto the field. They're going to attach 1 Dawn, and pretty much no matter what, we are taking this attack. Yeah. We get another. Okay, so our hand is just flooded with 6-cost and higher. We have 1 5-cost Sabo in hand. So here we are going to go with our 6-cost Sabo, activate its effect to increase its cost by 2, and give a rested Dawn to our leader. And we're going to swing in for 7k at their leader. They're going to go ahead and take that life, but they do get a Marguerite trigger to play it on the field and do a top 5 search. Our opponent's down to 2 life. We have now established 1 character on the field, and we have a handful of big bodies. So it's just a matter of how many of these bodies can we actually get onto our board, and can we avoid getting wiped out from a widespread Boa onslaught. We are going to pass the turn now. Yeah, so this Marguerite makes you trash a card from hand after you do your top 5 search, and boom, just like that. Silver's Rayleigh hits the field. They're going to swing 5k at us. I think we should counter out of this. Yeah, we'll counter out with a 1k. I think we start countering out just to put some cards in our trash. So 7k coming in. We can go ahead and counter out 2, 2. Okay, we now have 3 Rev Army cards in our trash. We do get a Koala, but right now we have everything we need for our Monkey D. Dragon play to put 3 Rev Army characters back on our deck, and then play our 6-cost Sabo out from the grave, bring them back. We'll go ahead and swing in for 7k with our Sabo at their leader. 7 coming in at 5. And our opponent does take that life, and they do not get a trigger on that turn. So our opponent down to 1 life. This is definitely a good matchup. This is definitely a good matchup because both of these decks love to go wide on the board. So there it is. Our opponent doesn't get the 9-cost Boa, but they do get the 6-cost Kuma to give themselves an extra life. They're going to go ahead and swing for 6k. We take a free block here? Or counter out? Suppose we'll counter. We'll counter out with 1k for this one. 6k coming in. We'll take a free block. 3 Dawn still standing. We'll see if our opponent wants to continue swinging in. They swing 8k at our Sabo. We're going to protect our Sabo here. Counter out with the 2k. That is the last counter card we have in hand. Okay, so now do we want to get aggressive or do we want to get another blocker body on the board? This is tough. Our opponent's going to be able to swing in. We have no counter in hand, so maybe we do need to establish another blocker. Let's think for a sec. Our opponent's going to be able to have 4 attackers, possibly 5 attackers next turn. And we only have 3 life and no counter in hand. We should be protective of ourselves. We should go for the blocker. We still get to attach 2 Rested Dawn to our leader, which we would have been able to also do with our 8-cost Monkey D. Dragon. we have 4 Dons still standing. So we can swing 7, 9, 12. Silver's Rayleigh also is vulnerable. Let's go ahead and try to KO the Silver's Rayleigh since it won't trigger our Boa Hancock's effect. Yeah. And then let's go ahead and swing in for 9. Our opponent takes that life. All right, we're going in. We're swinging for 10 at their leader. All right, our opponent's going to counter out of this. So they 2 2Ks, a 1K. So our opponent counters out of that attack with 4 cards out of hand. We're able to get 4 cards out of hand of our Boa opponent. We're going to pass the turn now with 1 blocker standing, 1K of counter in hand. Our leader is a 6,000 power leader. If we're talking about budgets in One Piece right now, this Kuma card I think is running like something like $40 a card right now. Okay, so our opponent decides to swing into our Sabo, and I think our Sabo is going to have to get KO'd here, unfortunately, because we just don't have the counter to protect it. We have a blocker to protect our life. We'll see if our opponent tries to get aggressive and swing into our Monkey D. Dragon. So they attach 4 Don. They swing 9K at the Dragon. So we are going to counter out with the 1K. Protect our Dragon. They establish a 3-cost blocker. Here we go. Okay. So let's go ahead and utilize our stage here. Trash one of our Dragons. We could try to find another Monkey D. Dragon with a search. But I think what we'll do is take the hack. Activate Sabo. Boom. Okay. I think we have this dub right here. I think we can calculate this dub out. 7K swing to start. Because we can give 2 Rested Dawn to any of our characters. They counter out of that one. Okay, so let's do the math here. We need to leave 8 Dawn standing. So we can swing 9. We're going to swing 9. Another 9. Okay, so our opponent does have another blocker. Our opponent does have another blocker. We need to be careful. We do need to be careful there. But we still have 2 swings. So 9 coming in. Our opponent takes that life. We're going Dragon, attaching 2 Dawn, and swinging 12K at the Boa Hancock, swinging for lethal. Does our opponent have the counter? Red Black Sabo getting the lethal swing with Red Monkey D. Dragon against Boa Hancock. Red Black Sabo, still a top contender for OP14. Let me know what you think. We'll be back with another one. Peace.